For all my fans all around the world and people that is living in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I have this little how can I say it? This little questionnaire about what I think about Fort Wayne. This is the first question. What do you think makes Fort Wayne schools and education system different from other cities? Well, all I can say is that um, as being in school was fun. Like preschool was fun, elementary was fun, middle school was fun, and high school was fun. I believe though that they need like more teachers and more rooms for people to actually remember like the criteria that they learned, because like it was some very smart people, and sometimes the classes has been just like very busy, or sometimes some students might horseplay around and be talkative, but it never meant that the student wasn't smart enough to learn the criteria. It just means that at a certain time that they wasn't either to get the information as they needed to, or that they just needed more time to study to get the criteria so they can actually be able to learn what they're studying. And so, like I said, I don't know how Fort Wayne is different from other cities, but I can say that by knowing about China, people in China, they don't stop learning. They stay reading, they stay writing, and they are in school for more hours than we are. And I know it's said from different cities, but think about it. Like them people in China, like they're very smart and they never stop learning, and they actually are educating themselves for more hours than United States of America's citizens. Excuse me for my stuttering, y'all. Sometimes when I talk fast, I stutter. And now question 2 says, do you believe Fort Wayne gives students enough opportunities to succeed after high school? Um, they give us opportunities, but they don't really care for us. Like, okay, so like when I graduated from high school, when I was going to Northside, um, my student counselor helper, I told her that I wanted to go to college and everything like that. I was writing her an email. She said I can write her. And when I was writing her, like, she barely even gave me any information on what type of colleges that I can go to. Like, she didn't even care. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person, but like, they really didn't care, because I was emailing, I was like asking for help. I was going up to the school and I was trying to get some colleges to go to see if they can help me sign up. They didn't help me sign up for nothing. So I believe that when people graduate from school, they need to have like another program, like after they graduate from high school. Like after you graduate from high school, they should have like a big building, right, in their city, and they can go to that building. Every student that graduates from school, they can go to that building and they can have like agents, and they can fill out colleges on the computer, or they can get like financial funds for school, or they can get money for like housing, bro. Because like I'm telling you, bro, like when I graduated from high school, bro, like I really wanted to go to college. And I went to a couple colleges, but that was because of my own help. But I still needed more help as I was in college. And so I just believe that Fort Wayne, Indiana should have more resources for high schools that graduate, where they can be able to walk into that transition of going to college or even a trade school. Now, question number three. How well do you think education in Fort Wayne prepares people for real jobs and careers? How well? Like I said, when I graduated from school, I was contacting my student counselor, and I emailed her, and she wasn't really trying to give me a lot of information. She just told me basically like, yeah, you can sign up for college, and if you want to go to college, you can go to school. But she didn't really tell me what colleges that I can go to. She wasn't really there like helping me, reminding me to keep signing up. She wasn't like emailing me, asking me if I finished signing up for college. And I felt like school should have been able to help me out, and to the point where they knew that I was in college. Like I think after you graduate from high school, that high school is still need to keep track of you until they say, oh yes, he's in college now, because students, they still need help. They might be having problems with their parents, they might be going through things mentally with friends and etc. They might be having health problems, and they just need the government help. And once they get the government help and the high school say, yes, our student went to college, he signed up for college, at least until the first semester. Even within that first semester, they need to know if they're getting good grades too, because getting good grades will determine how that student is doing mentally and physically. Because, if a person's not doing good physically or mentally, they might have bad grades. Okay, so now, question number 4. What type of jobs do you think are growing the fastest in Fort Wayne right now? Well, that's a good question. But I do know, since I've been in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I have jobs. And I think Fort Wayne, Indiana, factory jobs are going fast. And I'm not saying that I know about this, but I believe that any type of jobs dealing with training schools such as nursing, bricklaying, becoming an electrician, landscaping, anything that deals with the land or houses or anything dealing with fixing things, I believe that those will be the fastest jobs I believe in. But if y'all have any more information or any more answers to these questions, please feel free to comment to this box or find any type of way to inbox me or message me and just let me know this. Okay, question 4 says, okay, we already did question 4. Time to go to question 5. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of background noise in the back, and so it kind of confused me a little bit. But this says question 5. It says, do you think Fort Wayne is a good city for young adults trying to build a career? Why or why not? Well, I believe any place can be a good place for a person to have a good career. But you have to be at the right place at the right time with the right people. Because you could be in a good place, right? Okay, you could be in a restaurant, right? And the restaurant costs $250,000. But if those coworkers are disrespectful, always loud, obnoxious, wanting to cause hell to the workers there or the clients, it can be bad for us because people that graduate from school that got something in the world, or even people that don't graduate but just still have manners and is loyal, or just people with GEDs trying to do something in their life, bad people can make bad things happen to good people. And I believe businesses in Fort Wayne and jobs in Fort Wayne and people in these schools, we need more better people that's more mature. There's a lot of people here that they're jealous of you, they're mad, they're angry. Once you start making money, they want to be loud, they want to have sarcasm talks to you, they just try to start a conversation with you just to get on your nerves, just to piss you off, or you can try to give them some information about your lifestyle and they'll try to lead you into the wrong direction. That's how it is in the city, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I know it because I know since I've been working in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the more I try to rise up in the world, the more people hate on me. So I'm not saying this is not a good place, but you gotta be at the right place at the right time with the right people to get better in this society. Because some of these people they're just low down and they're jealous and they're folly. And this is what folly is. Folly is somebody that's your friend, but they are fake people. They will pretend to be your friend, but then they will talk behind your back and they will try to make you seem like a fool when really at the same time you're a good person, but they're just jealous of you. Okay, now, question 6. What changes would you make to improve education and workforce opportunities in Fort Wayne, Indiana? Well, in my city, what I do, I would create some type of program in the community where people can go up and sign up for help, dealing with all different type of resources. The main resources I want to say to make it small, because like I said, as I'm talking to you, they know I'm talking. They're trying to talk over my voice, and it's kind of messing up my static. But I believe the top 3 things that people should do to help somebody out is to open up a big building and help people find jobs, help people find housing, and help people get into schooling. Because if a person is in school, then they can learn a skill and they can learn a trade and they can make money forever. If a person can have a nice place and a nice house, they don't got to be homeless. They don't got to walk the streets. They don't got to stay with a friend where their friend is trying to basically like, say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Shit, nobody have to do that. And another thing is to also help a person find a good job where they can be stable and make money, take care of themselves and their family, shelter, food, and etc. And I believe that it should be some type of building where people can go in and sign up and have membership cards and go talk to these people every day, and even have a 24/7 line where they can call for help just in case they're being led astray or need some help getting back on their foot. And that should be 24/7. They should make like some type of app on the phone where they can stay connected to their agents, connected to that facility. Okay, now number 7 says, how do you feel about the way downtown Fort Wayne has been rebuilt and developed over the years? Well, I know since I've been down here, they've been knocking down a lot of buildings, but Fort Wayne has been building up a lot of hotels, a lot of restaurants, a lot of parks. Like downtown, they doing their thing. Like I never been to New York before, but just by learning about New York, how New York is pretty nice and beautiful, like Fort Wayne downtown is very nice. Like it's cool. Like they got boats down there. They got parks. They got restaurants. They got churches. They got schools. Man, you name it. They got everything downtown. Now, okay. Excuse me. Question number 8. Do you think Fort Wayne is built more for businesses, families, or tourists? Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, Fort Wayne is definitely built for businesses. Like any city where people has money and, people have cash in their pocket, it's definitely a good place for business. Everybody's going to have money, especially if you work. If you open up a business in Fort Wayne, you're going to make some money. Now, I'm not saying you're going to make a lot of money, but I do know you're going to make money because definitely if there's people and people working and people have cash and wallets in their pocket, if a person want to eat some food, they're going to buy some food. If a person wants some clothes, they're going to buy some clothes. If a person needs some water, they're going to buy some water. If a person needs some medicine, they're going to buy some medicine. If a person needs to go to school, they're going to go to school to learn. If their parents are going to pay for their students to go to school, their parents is going to pay. So, yes, Fort Wayne is a good place where you can definitely open up a business. Is this a good place for families? Yes, it can be a very good place for families, but don't go outside in Fort Wayne to like try to talk to people and make friends. I believe this is just a personal belief. I believe that a house is a house where people go to talk amongst their family. Home is home. But going outside in the open where another person can give you their own advice, or a person might be sick mentally and might say something that'll trigger your emotions, I don't think Fort Wayne is a good place for a person to come down here just to make friends and just to play around. But on the touring part, like if you come down here to go on tour, yes, come down here to go on tour. They have a lot of art down here. They have a lot of museums. They have a lot of parks. They have a lot of schools, a lot of churches. They have a lot of galleries. So like if you was from like a different city and you was just down here to like travel and just to look at things, that'd be great. But like to make friends for a long term, I don't think so. But if you want to make a difference in the society, that'd be fine. But if you make a friend with a rich person or a smart person and they got a good business and they got something established for themselves and you want a partnership with them, that'd be good. Now, number 9. What parts of Fort Wayne look the most modern or advanced to you? Now, I'm not going to lie. Fort Wayne has been building up the neighborhoods and the communities. Fort Wayne has been doing very good with like rebuilding places and apartments, houses, everything's from school buildings to churches and more. Fort Wayne has been definitely improving and making the city look better. So, Fort Wayne has definitely been upgrading. Okay. And number 10, do you think transportation, roads, and public spaces in Fort Wayne are improving enough for future growth? Yes, Fort Wayne has definitely been working on the streets, fixing the streets, fixing the highways, making sure that the cars and the motorcycles and the buses are not going on the bumpy road so people can go to work and people are not hurt. So yes, Fort Wayne construction workers, Fort Wayne City people, they've been doing a very, very good job on that. Very, 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 very great job. But you all, I had 10 questions for today. I shall make a part 2 video about how Fort Wayne is. If you want to know why I'm doing these type of things, why I'm writing questions like this, is because this is for mental health, for spiritual health, for future health, and just to keep the world up to date about what's going on. Because if we don't have no information, we don't have no knowledge, if we don't talk and stay up to date, how can anybody get better in the world? And don't forget, after watching this video, please give me some comments. Please give me some replies, some likes, some shares. You can even dislike some things if you dislike some things. So just let me know, because we are all here to learn. I am Shukraan Raab, the Fort Wayne artist.